Bandit, one of the most underrated and unpredictable cards in Clash Royale history. At times, she can seem ineffective, easily countered by skellies. Yet, in the blink of an eye, she dashes across the arena, taking out multiple troops and changing the outcome of the match with game-changing interactions. It's no wonder many players call her a hidden gem or a secret weapon. Having been a part of the game for over 7 years, her journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Sometimes she hid in the shadows with a measly 0% usage rate, only to claim the title of the best card in the game just a few months later. One fascinating aspect of the Bandit is how she's recognized in several language settings. Some players know her as the thief, outlaw, highwaywoman, assassin, robber, or pirate. As a big fan of Assassin's Creed, I could totally imagine calling her an assassin in Clash Royale. She definitely has those sneaky ambushes. Interestingly, in the Japanese language setting of the game, the Bandit's personal name is revealed to be Juno. Juno is a girl's name of Latin origin, meaning youthful and queen of the gods. I love the whole Queen of the Gods aesthetic for the Bandit. It's like she's a baddie with a heart of gold. Look at this picture. Isn't she just... oh my. I could fix her. The Bandit was initially accessible in the Bandit Draft Challenge, which began on March 17th, 2017. The gameplay in this challenge was identical to a typical draft challenge, except that one participant could pick who used the Bandit. If a player won 12 games, they got the Bandit early.
And boom. Come on, Bandit. Yes. Oh no! Oh gosh, I don't like that one bit.
It was amazing to see players strategize and utilize the Bandit's unique abilities in unexpected ways. The introduction of the Bandit added a new layer of excitement and complexity to Clash Royale gameplay. Fascinatingly, she was originally supposed to be invisible when deployed, then turn visible once she dashed and stun her enemies. However, Supercell decided to remove the stun ability and invisibility. As I'm sure is no surprise to anyone, she would have just been too overpowered and complicated, leaving her with just the dash ability. Her dash was one of the most unique abilities in Clash Royale. There were already several charging cards like Battle Ram or Prince, but none were as powerful as the Bandit's dash ability. Have you ever seen the Bandit just bullying the Prince in Clash Royale? It's one of the funniest interactions I think I've ever seen. But before I share that epic moment with you, I have 2 surprises that you won't want to miss out on. As a bit of a side note, I've been on YouTube for years and I've always wanted to do this, so recently I've discovered this amazing game that's available on both mobile and PC. You can even seamlessly switch between devices, playing them alternatively. In this game, there are over 800 incredible champions, ranging from lizard-like creatures to elves, orcs, dwarves, demons, each one of them looking exceptionally cool. Join me in Raid Shadow Legends! Yeah, that's the sponsor of today's video. Now here's the exciting part. Ninja, one of the strongest legendaries ever released in Raid, is back for a limited time. To get Ninja, simply download Raid using my link in the description or the QR code on screen right now, and enter the promo code NINJARETURNS. If you're a returning player, you can still get Ninja through an in-game loyalty program using my link. But that is not all. Using my QR code or link, new players will also receive a massive starter pack with the epic champion Anax, the Undead Hordes faction, and another pack at level 15 featuring the epic champion Thane. It's like starting Clash Royale with the Archer Queen in your deck. And there's more. This month you can win amazing prizes like a handheld gaming console, a drone, and a VR headset. To enter, download Raid using my link, go to wefinallyplayedit.plarium.com, enter your player ID, and upload a video of yourself playing the game. The top 12 submissions will win these incredible prizes, while everyone else gets a chance at some valuable in-game loot. If you're fed up with Clash Royale's bad updates like I am, this game is a welcome change for some fun. One thing I absolutely love about Raid is their commitment to keeping the game fresh with constant monthly updates. Plus, you can speed up the battles by 2 times, allowing you to level up your champions much faster. I leveled up to 14 in just 40 minutes. So, click my link in the description, download Raid, and come find me under the name ARCTO 2. Join my clan, ARCTO, no surprise there, and let's dominate the game together. You'll have the power of a pay-to-win player, but hey, for free. Okay, now back to that epic Bandit versus Prince moment. I know I kept you waiting, but it was worth it. I promise. Just watch. Okay, I know that was great, but this interaction with the Executioner and Tornado is just downright gold. Players had to adapt and learn quickly how to counter her, as her dashing ability made her invulnerable to, well, everything. Missing Fireball was a common mistake players made when trying to stop her, as well as the pre-spell.
Unfortunately, he's going to have Tesla with this, and he's going to be able to stifle any type of push that we have. But the Bandit is still alive. It's going to go bouncing back towards the Valkyrie, then it's going to bounce towards the tower. And I don't think he has Goblin Gang and Cycle. I don't think he has Elixir for it. He definitely did have it, but he didn't have Elixir for it.
Despite having such a unique ability, the Bandit reached only a 9% usage rate in April. One of the reasons was the popularity of graveyard decks that were all over the meta. And the Bandit is a pretty bad counter to graveyard, as she doesn't have very much health. Unfortunately, it got even worse, as skeletons got buffed and their count was increased from 3 to 4. Suddenly, Larrys were all over the meta in each and every deck, reaching as high as 77.5% in June. And on top of that, the Goblin Gang was dominating the meta as well, with about a 50% usage rate. These swarm cards made for a difficult environment for the Bandit to shine, and she hit rock bottom at a 0% usage rate in both May and June. Supercell saw the drastic fall of the Bandit and knew they had to do something to make her more viable in the current meta. So in June, she received a pretty significant 4% HP buff, making her survive one more hit from the majority of troops, which meant she could easily dash to the tower with a pixel of HP left. But that is not all. They also decreased the time required for charging her dash to 0.8 seconds, down from 1 second. So basically, she's dashing 20% faster and survives longer. That is exactly what she needed, as the long 1 second dash time allowed players to react in time, but now they have to be much more careful. Also, skeletons were hit with a huge nerf, decreasing their count from 4 to 3, making them fall out of the meta pretty instantly. Thanks to the fewer swarms in the meta, the Bandit finally found her place in the Clash Royale arena. In July, she reached an impressive 40% usage rate on the ladder. One of the best decks at the time was a very strange bridge spam deck with the Battle Ram, Bandit, Night Witch, and Elixir Collector. This deck was able to apply constant pressure on opponents and punish any mistakes that they made. The synergy between the cards allowed for quick and devastating pushes that were, well, let's say, difficult to defend against. In August 2017, the Mega Knight was introduced, one of the most hated cards in Clash Royale history. This was one of the few reasons players immediately fell in love with the Bandit, as she could counter the Mega Knight if placed correctly for a +4 Elixir trade, making her a valuable card in many decks. Surprisingly, the Bandit synergized extremely well in minor cycle decks, as we can see here from Surtak. The Bandit's ability to dash quickly to different targets made her a versatile card in both offense and defense.
He's going to be using his minor on defense, which is really, really good for me. I feel like my Bandit will still get a hit on the tower potentially, and it does. That Bandit got so much value. It's insane.
Even Morton, one of the best players in Clash Royale, didn't stand a chance against this minor Bandit cycle. Now, one crucial mention has to go to Sergio Ramos, who won the 2017 World Finals. He used a P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam deck with the Bandit and Ewiz, and completely destroyed Music Master. What I love about this match is how Sergio knows when to place the Bandit to keep his opponent on his toes. This match was considered the best match of 2017. So, let's watch it together so you can see how skillful players were back then.
Now the Princess is there to support. P.E.K.K.A. comes down to block, but if he can take out this P.E.K.K.A. and keep the mortar standing, there is a very good chance that he can turn this around and take the tower.
Soaks the Bandit damage out the left side, and I agree with that. You gotta be able to take a one on the chin if you're gonna invest your Elixir in defense of the right. He's going in hard, trying to tear that tower down with a good mortar lock, but the P.E.K.K.A. takes short work of it. chopping out the back as the miner goes in to support some minions, but once again, rebuffed. Sergio Ramos just has so many spells, and the Electro Wizard on top, he doesn't have to worry very much at all about these swarm attacks from Music Master.
Over and over again, Sergio Ramos' zap and his poison are MVPs in this game, zapping the bats, poisoning the minion horde. Both of them are great trades that are putting him ahead. He only needs another minor poison attack or so in order to take this game, and because Music Master knows that, he's going with an aggressive attack to bait the poison out. There goes Electro Wizard trying to stop, and Electro Wizard will start the counterattack on the other side. But now both of Music Master's towers are low. Sergio Ramos is sweating, wiping the sweat from his brow because he knows he's just 274 damage away from being the next victor. He needs to poison it, he needs to zap it. Sergio Ramos, the world championship is in your grip.
The finishing kill there. Minion horde at the right side to defend, but the poison will take it down, and that's the last chance that Music Master has to strike. No more for him to lock on at this point, and the minions are going to be able to stab down this miner. I don't think that there's anything left for Sergio to do but send in the final blow, Rumham.
He's just got to cycle back. Zap lowers it. He needs a poison. He's played 1 card, 2 cards. I think just 2 more cards will bring him the poison and the victory. Sergio Ramos from Mexico is going to be your first ever Clash Royale champion.
Bandit takes it. Sergio Ramos wins. First place in the Clash Royale.
It's kind of funny to see how this was considered the best match in Clash Royale history back then, because what you're about to see later in today's video will blow your freaking mind. Anyway, one worthy mention has to go to Bandit's long-range interactions. She was bugged several times throughout the years, especially against Tornado, and it's really funny to see her taking out troops and towers from such a long distance. It's safe to say that the Bandit was a fan favorite in no time, and she held around a 20% usage rate until the end of the year. However, everything changed in January 2018 when the Royal Ghost was introduced. The Royal Ghost quickly became the new favorite due to his invisibility, fast attack speed, and splash damage, causing the Bandit's usage rate to drop significantly.
Tier is going to be up to. Oh my gosh, that was such a sneaky ghost. Completely obliterated that Musketeer, and his Santa Claus is approaching on our tower, but I don't think it's even going to get 1 or 2 hits. It's only going to get 1. There we go. Royal Ghost, it has been the MVP of this game. It's going to get 1 swipe on the tower.
In January, the Royal Ghost was used 73 times in the top 200, indicating a 36.5% usage rate, making the Bandit drop to only 3.5. And to understand why, let's compare the Royal Ghost to its current counterpart. At its release, he turned invisible after 0.7 seconds. Compared to 1.8 seconds today, his hit speed was 1.7 compared to 1.8 seconds, and overall his HP and damage were about 10% more than today. And because of all of that, the Clash Royale devs knew that something had to be done about this card, and soon enough, they nerfed his every single stat.
Royal Ghost hit a new high of 60% win rate, way higher than it should be, while also being the most popular troop in grand challenges. When it's being used in 40% of decks with a 60% win rate, we knew we had to be aggressive in nerfing it.
On top of that, the Bandit received a pretty significant buff in February. A balance update decreased her minimum dash range to 3.5 tiles, down from 4.
The Bandit dropped off of the meta once her bug was removed. She used to be able to dash into targets that were a lot closer. That bug got fixed. Now for balances, they're allowing her to initiate her dash 0.5 tiles closer. This means that she will now initiate her dash at units that are a little bit closer at 3.5 tiles, dealing that sweet double dash damage.
This may not seem like much at first, but it actually did make a pretty huge difference, as now the Bandit didn't have to be placed so far back to dash on troops and towers. This caused a huge shift in the meta, and the Bandit surged to the top of the meta once again, reaching 12% in March. There were several decks that started taking over the meta, but one worthy mention has to go to one of the best players in Clash Royale. He dominated the game with P.E.K.K.A, Miner, and the Bandit as the perfect surprise weapon. In short, he won every single match in this video against top players, showcasing just how powerful our little assassin has become.
P.E.K.K.A will probably kill the Dark Prince. The Electro Wiz is stunning. The Inferno Jagger Miner is chipping away. Let's go with the Ice Spirit. We cycled to Bandit actually, so we might be able to take down his second tower. Looks like he isn't trying to defend anymore. So we will take down the second tower. Maybe even 3 crown. I don't think so. 6 seconds left. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Maybe 3 crown. Let's see. I think it will be close actually. 1 second. Yeah.
It was clear that the Miner cycle was a top strategy, as he was using many different decks, but Miner and Bandit always found their place in it. Like this one, with Bats, Hunter, and Ice Golem. I went over some of his top gameplays, and I must admit that he was definitely ahead of his time. He was able to defend the undefendable.
To go, let's go with a Bandit, let's go with Bats, let's go with Ice Spirit, let's go with Miner, and we're kind of going all in right now. He does have a Zap, which is really unfortunate for us. Let's actually go with a Lock, hopefully killing his Dark Prince. He says good game. I'm not sure why he's saying good game. I don't think it's good game yet, because the Bandit is actually chipping away. Let's go with Ice Golem to kite his Prince. Let's go with Bats, knowing that he just used his Zap. Let's go with Ice Spirit, let's go with a Hunter. Let's go with a Lock to defend. Let's go with Ice Golem. Hopefully we cycle back to Bats. And let's see, let's go with an Ice Spirit, hopefully killing his... Actually, the Hunter killed his Dark Prince. He went with a Prince. Let's go with a Lock to kill his... or to push away his Golem. And look at this defense, guys. Insane defense, in my opinion. Let's go with Ice Golem. Let's go with Bats. Let's have the Ice Spirit ready, but I don't think we need it. He's even saying wow, like he says well played. He didn't expect us to be able to defend it. Let's go with a Miner, and let's go with a Bandit in the middle, but it doesn't matter because the time is already over. But let's give him the good game.
Surgical Goblin's strategic gameplay and deck composition inspired many players to try out similar decks, further solidifying the Bandit's prominence in the meta. The Queen of the Gods got into the Three Musketeer decks with the newly buffed Dark Prince, as they created an unstoppable synergy on the field. The combination of the Battle Ram, Dark Prince, and the Bandit always proved to be one of the top strategies in the game. With the combination of Three Musketeers and Pump to get an elixir advantage, this deck was simply impossible to defend against.
We got Barbarians, we got the Dark Prince, we got double Musketeers. And I think we're just going to take 2 towers. I think this might be a clean 2-0 victory, boys. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that the Musketeer is going to just finesse him right here. Bandit coming in and strong. And this might even go and be a 3 crown. Bandit is going right on top of the tower. Bandit is so busted. Oh my gosh.
Similarly, the combination of Ghost and Bandit proved to be a deadly duo on the field.
Raged. But the Bandit, whoa, boom, connects to the tower. Balloon only got 1 hit, my Bandit connected. That's a huge difference. I got to zap all that good stuff. I missed the skeletons because I went 1 tile a bit too high, otherwise we would have taken out the tower, but so far, pretty good.
And that's why the good old P.E.K.K.A bridge spam was created. The combination of Battle Ram, Ghost, and the Bandit was the perfect seasoning for some juicy double lane pushes that often caught opponents off guard. And that's some tasty damage. The terror of P.E.K.K.A bridge spam continued for days, weeks, months, and, well, let's be honest, even years ahead. And as more and more YouTubers played this deck, more casual players realized just how strong the Bandit is if they're played correctly. By the end of 2018, our little assassin hit a 28% usage rate, becoming the most used card in the game. She was unstoppable. One particular deck that caught my eye was the Miner deck with the Electro Dragon and the Prince. This deck was a deadly combination of fast cycle and powerful support troops, making it a force to be reckoned with on the field. With the combination of 3 spells, that being Poison, Barb Barrel, and Tornado, players could easily counter the popular Three Musketeers, but this deck was nothing compared to the P.E.K.K.A bridge spam that took over the meta by storm. This deck was known for its relentless aggression, an ability to quickly overwhelm opponents with the powerful P.E.K.K.A on one side and Battle Ram Bandit on the other. I don't think there was ever a deck with that kind of dangerous split lane pressure.
Let them and get a Bandit cat in action, then we win the game, so yeah. GG, well played, and peace out, man. Look at it again. This deck finished #1 in the world last season, and it was on AY is God. Mikhail ended up playing it. He is a phenomenal P.E.K.K.A player, and finishing #1 in the world with this deck obviously gave it a lot of popularity.
And it didn't stop there. The dominance of the Bandit continued into January of 2019. As we can see here from Ash watching 2 top players playing against each other, on top we can see a classic P.E.K.K.A bridge spam, and below we have an interesting combination of Ram Rider and Dart Goblin. Players experimented with different strategies and deck combos as new balance changes and cards brought excitement to the game. It was boring to play one deck over and over again. as metas always are if they're stale. Which is why I'd love to mention this Mega Knight deck with the Prince. Now, surprisingly, this deck was pretty solid against the popular Golem Beatdown or Royal Giant, as the Prince with the Bandit created such a huge damage output, and Mega Knight took care of swarms.
Damage remaining on that tower there. Here comes the Fire Spirits. One Golem in the pocket could win this, will win this, excuse me, for Ali here. So what are we gonna do? Here we go. We need to spam. Yeah, I was going to say, no time for games here. We need to go in. We need to go in pretty hard here. I would poison. He does. So that tower is going to be down to 400s. Oh, man, it's going to end in the 300s HP, but there's that rocket. Okay, rocket log. Is that going to finish it? No! Oh, we pull it off! Whoa! Two Musketeers in the right lane. Now we have a Sparky coming down. Now we have a Graveyard Prince and Sparky in the right. We're gonna need something. We zap that Prince. We get a charge off on the tower, but that's not gonna be enough here, guys. We need something. Ewiz is down, but no! Oh my god, 476. Oh, the clutch Ewiz. He has no big spell, guys. He has no big spell. We get a charge off, and there it is. Oh man, I can't believe he won that match. Unbelievable. Oh my god.
Unfortunately, in April, a new balance update was introduced, decreasing the Bandit's hit points by 4%. I guess players couldn't stand a 1 HP Bandit dash on the tower anymore, so they called for nerfs, and I can't blame them. However, if we take a look at the stats in April, we can see that the Bandit is still holding a healthy and pretty broken spot at 19% usage rate. The reason behind this is the value she could provide on the field was incredible, and that's why even 2.6 Hog players started experimenting with different Hog archetypes, like this one with the Goblin Gang, Skarmy, Archers, and the Inferno Tower. It was amazing to see just how much the Bandit affected the game for such a long time. One of the biggest advantages of the Bandit was that she was untargetable when dashing, meaning that if she started dashing to the tower with other support troops behind her, the tower stopped shooting her. We can see the perfect example of this in this epic clip. However, this all changed in the September balance update, which made the Bandit immune to damage while dashing, instead of untargetable. But it didn't really change her effectiveness. In a match between two pro players, Dimas with a Mega Knight deck and Pompeo with a Lava Loon, we can see just how effective the Bandit can still be in the right hands, despite the changes.
To make sure that he's able to body block Dima's miners. So that's one thing that I didn't consider. That was really the only thing that Pompeo was able to do to catch miners. So Goblin Cage is going to be plopped down. He has no way of killing that Inferno Dragon, so he's not even going to try to go for a Mega Knight there. In fact, this is looking really scary. Oh my gosh. That's just incredible. What? He took the left-hand side with the Bandit. Yeah, I was just tunneled on the right.
With the introduction of the Elixir Golem in late 2019, the meta shifted heavily. Players had to adapt to counter the dominance of the Night Witch, Battle Healer, and E-Golem. And because of that, the Baby Dragon secured his place and P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam instead of the Electro Wizard. Many players also included Skeletons for faster cycling, and the Battle Ram got replaced by Miner.
Big push is underway, but now we have poison in hand. The problem is that Battle Healer. Battle Healer is going to heal everything up here, so see what Javi does, guys. Javi goes opposite lane with a Bandit. He's going to start applying a little bit of pressure to that opposite lane in just a moment. So Ewiz here just defending. We get a Night Witch out of the opponent. Okay, it's the next sequence where he applies dual lane pressure. So we're going to use a Baby Dragon here. Now look at the right. We're going to go ahead and keep supporting the right. A Bandit is played. We're going to use a Bar Barrel on the left, I believe. There it is. So Bar Barrel's down the left. Baby Dragon cleaning up very nicely. And then we send in another Miner, try to assassinate that Ice Wizard on the other side of the arena. 2 minutes remaining in this match. We get a Bandit on that tower. We have a Baby Dragon on that tower. And Night Witch, comes down for the opponent. But look at that tower. It gets all the way down to 279 HP. And look at the left side, guys. We have a P.E.K.K.A., a Baby Dragon, and a Barbarian. Now all we need is a Miner poison on that tower. We need the Miner to connect, though. Remember, this is tournament level standard. So the Miner goes in. We realize, okay, we've got this. So nice comeback victory against a very difficult matchup.
A quick glance at the December stats reveals the sheer chaos of the meta. The Night Witch dominated at a staggering 38% usage rate, closely followed by Baby Dragon at 35% and Miner at 34%, and our Assassin still holds a very healthy position at 15%. even higher than the Elixir Golem and Battle Healer. And that was just the beginning. In December of 2019, there was a Clash Royale World Finals, and one particular match is remembered as the most intense match in Clash Royale history. It was a match between Surgical Goblin, who used a classic P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam deck, against Morton, who was using a graveyard deck. If you haven't seen this match, well, I'd love to be in your shoes to watch it for the first time.
Defend 3. P.E.K.K.A. on the board for Surgical Goblin. Royal Ghost ahead. He has got to figure out a way to get on top of this Magic Archer. High Poison will take care of the Magic Archer, but a Zap does a great job, and that's going to be a nice connection. P.E.K.K.A. Does she get a swing? She does not. Unbelievable defense from Morton.
Incredible, incredible composure from the German.
Final 30 seconds of regulation. Morton has not had a chance to load up at all on the right-hand side. Surgical Goblin keeping the pressure, doing what you do with bridge spam, not letting you breathe for even a second.
Morton just having the most difficult time breaking through, getting his win condition down. And that is a lot to deal with. He zaps the skellies! That was the zap on the skellies to reset the Inferno, but the skellies then did not kite.
Wow, beautiful play by the most decorated player in Clash Royale history.
And finally, Morton gets down to graveyard, but that feels like a desperation graveyard.
Poison is getting some value on the Magic Archer, E-Wiz, and Royal Ghost.
Missing those first couple ticks could be detrimental on that E-Wiz. Never mind.
Snowball gets in, Zap behind, Skeletons to kite, Magic Archer trying to create some room. P.E.K.K.A. will go down to the Inferno Tower.
Skeletons played right on top of that Royal Ghost. One Magic Archer arrow came in, cleaned them all out. Morton's got to do a little bit better job of utilizing those skellies.
Surgical Goblin playing brilliantly thus far. Morton trying to find a good spot to take an advantage.
And most likely that last card from Surge is Poison, and he has not used it yet to defend the graveyard because he wants these big counter pushes to come in.
Final 60 seconds approaching. Only 300-ish HP separating these two players. Graveyard one more time for Morton.
Needs to get any damage in on that tower. Poison comes down. That's not going to be enough to put him in the lead. Especially because most likely that last card is Poison.
Morton has to spend a little bit on the right-hand side just to not eat a massive amount of damage. And here we go, left-hand side.
Magic Archer not put in the right spot.
Just barely falling short on that geometry.
Valkyrie high, nope, skellies come in. Magic Archer still does not connect. Morton might be able to take this, Rich.
This is absolutely wild. Graveyard down, and now Surgical Goblin going high with the Royal Ghost. Bandit trying to defend against Graveyard.
Skellies trying to get to the tower. Poison is down, but we have Morton in the lead. If he gets the snowball down and Surge zaps, he still wins.
Inferno Tower high.
Magic Archer gets a shot.
Connecting.
Magic Archer gets another shot.
Martin trying to get Graveyard on tower. Poison gets down.
784. 1 HP.
1 HP.
Oh my God.
Surgical Goblin does it. Liquid's going to the final.
1 HP. That's all it took. And that is about as heartbreaking as it gets for SK Gaming.
Oh my God.
Amazing gameplay from both players. But Surgical Goblin's Bandit prediction was exceptional. Getting the Bandit on that tower secured the victory. Now let's continue to 2020, which is crazy to me that was 4 years ago. In January of 2020, a new common card was introduced, the Firecracker. With a unique ability to push herself back, she became one of the most irritating cards in Clash Royale. Since the Bandit could easily one-shot her with her dash, her popularity continued to soar. By the end of January, the Firecracker reached a 22% usage rate, and not far behind was the Bandit at 20%. The Firecracker brought a fresh dynamic to the game, and Bandit lovers quickly adapted to stay competitive. So let's check out some epic clips. I don't think I'll ever get enough of these beautiful clips. Anyway, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. The Queen of God suffered tremendously in April when the Goblin Hut received a buff, making it spawn 3 additional spear goblins after its destruction. It immediately became meta, reaching a 31% usage rate, and thankfully Clash Royale devs always hated when buildings dominated the meta, so they quickly nerfed it, and the Bandit rose to prominence once again. Among mid-ladder players, we often saw her in log bait decks, as she provided great offensive and defensive abilities. The Mega Knight minor control also came back to the top of the meta with the Magic Archer and Wall Breakers, showing just how diverse and dynamic the Clash Royale meta can be. The rise and fall of different strategies keeps the game fresh and exciting for players at all skill levels, and that's one thing I've always genuinely loved about Clash Royale. So as the curtain closed on 2020, the Bandit's journey took an unexpected detour. Fast forward to June 2021 when Clash Royale dropped a bombshell in the form of the Goblin Drill. Upon its release, this card proved to be one of the most overpowered additions to the game. With the ability to spawn 3 goblins at its destruction and a lightning-fast first attack in just 0.2 seconds, the Goblin Drill left players with virtually no room for reaction, forcing them to rely on prediction rather than skill.
You better not have Scar me. Arrows? Wait a second. Wait a second, that's a lot of... It's official. 100% official. The results are coming in. Drill is broken. Drill is broken. Oh no, I should have stumbled the bomber. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. A little bit of damage. A little bit of damage. 700. All we need is 700. I should have raged. If I raged, I don't want to lose my tower. Just don't lose the tower now, and we're set. Because he has to go on the left side again. 700. All I need is... Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's go, baby. It's broken. Drill is broken.
Now, you might understand how broken the Goblin Drill was. So, how did the Bandit do in this meta? Well, she actually skyrocketed, reaching an impressive 19% usage rate in June. My guess is that players paired her with the Dark Prince, as the Dark Prince could take out the Goblin Drill pretty effectively, and the Bandit could one-shot the Bomber that was always used to push with the Drill. One of the decks that caught my eye was the Three Musketeers deck, with the Goblin Drill, Ghost, Bomber, and Fire Spirit. This deck synergized perfectly, as you always had a great splash card on hand to deal with the Drill.
I wish I had Bandit. That's my favorite card in Clash Royale right now. Sometimes it just gets some massive leapfrog value, and the Musketeers are able to lock onto the tower too, so I'm liking how this is looking. Probably just want to eat that damage and then go for a Bandit so we're able to fully counteract the rest of the Dark Prince without any worries in this world. Let's go. Right now, as it is, we're up a lot of elixir. The Bandit is going to give us value because, let's say, your opponent doesn't have Skeletons and Fire Spirit. Spoiler, he likely freezes on the 2 Musketeers here. Or nah. Or nah, fam. This Fire Spirit's going to be tanking for the Inferno Dragon for a while. And I think we can pull back the Inferno Dragon here, finish off the Inferno D here, and then Tornado the Balloon directly to the King Tower, and then just walk away with a very, very nice play. Look at that! That's what I'm talking about, baby!
Thankfully, Clash Royale devs soon realized that the Goblin Drill was a bit overpowered, so they nerfed it to a pretty balanced state in the upcoming weeks and months. By the end of 2021, champions were introduced, and with them came a huge wave of Archer Queens in almost every top ladder deck. In November, the Mega Knight decks evolved, as we can see from Boss. He absolutely dominated the top ladder with this new epic deck, and at this time the Bandit hit a 14% usage rate, still being pretty much at the top of the meta, proving that she was far from over.
Now, where this deck is so strong, you see a Mega Knight Ram Rider deck with the Archer Queen, of course, and then you got the Ghost and the Bandit for some solid pressure.
In December, the P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam evolved as well. The Battle Ram received an 8% damage buff, which caused it to become a more viable win condition in the meta. This deck became even more powerful with this change. Players swapped the Magic Archer for Archer Queen, as she provided much more value on the field. One player that dominated the top ladder was Boss, once again. February 2022 brought an unexpected twist. The Bandit's targeting glitch resurfaced, and players wasted no time exploiting it. Content creator Brad was among the first to shine a spotlight on the issue, declaring in a video, "Clash Royale has a problem right now, and it's called Bandit. Every time she dashes, she's immune to being targeted. 100% a bug and will be fixed in the next major update."
Bandit is broken, and I'm gonna prove it today by getting top 200 by literally playing a 2.6 Bandit cycle. Play your Dark Prince. I know you want to. I know you want to. Play that Dark Prince. I don't think he's got anything. He has to defensive miner or just soak it. Oh my god, just enough. Oh, look at the Bandit. Oh my god. No, we're fine. The worst magic archer you ever seen in your life. Oh boy. Oh boy. We do not choke these. Never. Yes! Oh my god, what a log! Bandit too good. Bandit's my win condition. What can I say? That was actually a pretty epic log, you have to admit, right?
This bug was one of the main reasons why she skyrocketed to 19%. However, it was soon fixed in the next update, but with that update came a new set of balance changes that broke the game once again. The buff to the mirror, which would make a card 2 levels higher, and the buff to the Electro Giant. And voila! In June, the insane Electro Giant meta was born. Players were making Mirror E-Giant cycle decks to 3-crown their opponents, and the majority of them succeeded. However, this caused players to adapt and strategize with different deck archetypes. One deck that stood above the rest was the Goblin Drill with the Inferno Tower. Goblin Drill would work as a second building against the Electro Giant, and the cheap cycling of the Fire Spirit, Skeletons, Bomber, or Bandit allowed players to always have a building on hand, making it very easy to defend. Because of that, the game's elite were all playing this deck all June. Players like Ian77, Riley, or Morton.
Be aggressive, this is what I said before. And okay, yes, Barbarian Build, right? So I'm going for my log here. And as I said, that's the play. You want to be aggressive in single, you want to get the early damage, and just out-cycle them.
Okay, he goes for Bomber. I'm just going to Bandit the middle here. I would do it at the bridge, but I don't want to block it. What? What? Wow. That was so good. Wow, that was really smart. I have no words, actually. Best hand for this? Okay. This Skellies, Log. Then I'm going to go Fire Spirit on the Drill here. Wait, what just happened on the right? Wait, I just won. What just happened? He got such a nice prediction down, and I think he's gonna Musk in the middle, so I'm gonna Bandit here to predict the Musk in the middle. Okay, nice. Yeah, because he wanted to snipe my Eye Tower, so that was a nice prediction, Bandit there, and now the Musk is dead. Fire Spirit to push the second Hog through the Inferno. Bomber, like, it's gonna die. Rocket, and then just Log, and that's gonna be a nice win. I'm also going to BM this guy because he beat me before and BM me like 2 months ago, so...
Yeah, the nice thing about playing Goblin Drill in this meta is that even though people are running Mirror E-Giant a lot, it's still pretty nice to have Goblin Drill because it kind of acts as like a second building, so even when they go with like the Mirror E-Giant, you can still deal with it pretty well usually, and...
Thankfully, this meta was killed by nerfs to Mirror and the Electro Giant later on, but its impact on the game will likely be remembered for quite some time. Now, August saw the Bandit venturing into uncharted territory as she found a new home in Expo decks, a development spearheaded by none other than Aragon, one of the best Expo players in the game. This innovative deck swapped out the traditional Knight and Archers for the Bandit and Dart Goblin, injecting a fresh and exciting playstyle into the Expo archetype. In October, Clash Royale introduced Phoenix, a new legendary card that completely changed the meta once again. With its revival ability, fast attack speed, and high damage output, Phoenix quickly became a staple in many top players' decks, leading to new strategies and counterplays emerging in the competitive scene. As a result, the Bandit's usage rate suffered, reaching as low as 4% in November. There was one deck that was pretty good against the current Phoenix meta, which was this Mega Knight deck with the Musketeer and Bats. The Goblins and Wallbreakers could kite Phoenixes pretty well, and Musketeer plus Bats finished the job.
Them to just spam a lot of extra stuff here that we can go and kite with Wallbreakers without supporting with an Electro Giant, and he didn't even support it anyway. What is he doing? Wait, this is going way better than I anticipated. We can go for a Musketeer here, kite all the Phoenixes away so the Electro Giant can just get easily dealt with by a Mega Knight. I think we're going to be fine. Hopefully. Maybe I can Mega Knight here, actually. and then stack that tower because I can't defend it, take the other tower with my Mega Knight, and then take the other one with just like going in for a zap on the tower because we know that we're going to be able to take it. I think I walked away to win here. So a ridiculous game. Very happy to beat Electro Giant without any buildings. And I don't think that this is something that's replicable. I think I should lose this matchup 100% of the time.
In November, the Phoenix reached as high as 73% and peaked in the 80s. It was so broken that even the mirror became one of the most used cards in the game. Supercell did their best to slowly bring the hammer of nerfs to the Phoenix, but despite reducing its HP, damage, and egg spawn, it still continued to dominate the meta in the upcoming days, weeks, and unfortunately, months. So let's take a look at the stats from March of 2023, where we can see the Phoenix is at a 26% usage rate, which still indicates an extremely broken state, but thankfully we can see that the Bandit is climbing back up to the top at 11%, so nerfs to the Phoenix actually helped. In the middle of 2023 came a huge update that changed Clash Royale forever. The Evolution. For the first time ever, we could see the Firecracker, Royal Giant, Barbarians, and Skeletons in their evolved forms. Surprisingly, this update had no effect on the Queen of Gods, as she still held a healthy position at 10%, fighting with the Phoenix also at 10%. That indicates that despite all that happened, players always found a way to use her effectively. However, I personally think that Ian77 was the main reason why the Bandit didn't suffer any significant decline. At this time, he uploaded a video called Ultimate P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam Guide. The video reached 253,000 views, so even if just 10% of those players stuck to the P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam, that's over 25,000 players using Bandit in their decks. Oh, by the way, if you really want to level up your skills with that deck in particular, I recommend watching his video. Even though it's a little bit older now, Ian explained perfectly how to counter any meta deck. Now, as 2023 drew to a close, Clash Royale unleashed a new champion, the Little Prince. And upon his arrival, he instantly became the most overpowered champion in the game. Interestingly, his introduction also gave rise to some incredible Bandit moments. The Little Prince's Guardian could smash the Bandit away, but she would still somehow manage to dash through, creating some truly memorable interactions. So let me show you some of my favorite clips that showcase this phenomenon. But the Little Prince wasn't the only new card introduced into the game, because Clash Royale also came up with a new evolved version of Archers. And because of that, the Mega Knight decks also evolved with it and started dominating the meta. Archer Queen was replaced with Little Prince, and the Evo Archers replaced the E-Wiz, as their attack range was massive and could take out any building when placed on the bridge. The deck became much cheaper, allowing faster pushes with the Mega Knight, Ram Rider, and Bandit. Morton was absolutely killing it with this new deck in the competitive scene, solidifying its place as a top-tier choice for Clash Royale players. Surprisingly, the P.E.K.K.A. lost its place in the meta against the powerful Evo Archers and the Little Prince. Before she could do anything, she was kinda already wiped out. That's why I would love to mention a new P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam deck without the P.E.K.K.A. that worked exceptionally well. And we can see that from these clips by Surtag.
The idea is if you can keep up constant pressure, your opponent will never get a chance to go on offense. And because the Little Prince and Evolved Archers already do so much damage, the P.E.K.K.A. isn't always needed and feels like overkill. We're gonna go Bandit on the Skeleton King and use that as a resource. Please just dash on it. No, it didn't. Dang it. We're gonna go Archers. We can go for another Battle Ram after we go and kill the Zappies. Possibly going for a Poison if we're feeling really aggressive. I'm gonna go for a Royal Ghost here. He's gonna try to Fireball cycle me. All right, let's do this. Let's go in for a Little Prince, it's gonna get pulled. We can click the ability. It's gonna maybe distract now. We can go for a zap. Yo, the Little Prince ability went on the tower. No way. Guys, there's a chance if he doesn't get to a fireball in time, we can go for Evolved Archers in the river. These Evolved Archers might do him dirty. We're gonna go for a zap. This is gonna be one of the closest games ever, and we barely win.
And now we're getting dangerously close to 2024, in which you're gonna see something that will leave you speechless. And oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. First things first, in February, we could see the Goblin Drill coming back to the top of the meta. With the addition of the Little Prince, the fast cycling enabled relentless pushes on both sides of the arena. And especially since the Cannoneer was added to the game, it was the perfect deck to make the Cannoneer a useless tower troop.
In doubt, just spam Bandit, Drill, then I'm gonna Wall Breakers too. Right now, Bandit's gonna dash and kill the cannon. Nice, wait, he wasted his delivery. That should be game. How does he defend? Ooh. Wallbreaker? Wow, I think the last hit, but just Poison will finish off the game. Let's go. On the back, then Ghost on the right, and Bandit, and Wallbreakers because he wasted the delivery. Dude, this deck is complete spam. How does he even defend all of this? Yeah, nice. The cannon's dead, and the Bandit dashes. Dude, this is so chaotic.
But the true madness came with the Evolved Bomber, Evo Battle Ram, and the Evolved Zap, as all these cards were the main core of the P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam. Well, not the Bomber, but his evolved version made him a cheaper version of Magic Archer, so, I mean, he was in regardless.
Looking for the Evo Battle Ram. Ooh, that's not a great freeze for him. We can just freeze. The barbs are getting knocked, kind of. They're just getting winded. That was so much damage, wow.
On top of that, the P.E.K.K.A. received a range buff, making her go from a pretty average card to a very dangerous one.
Wait guys, this is pretty bad. No damage for us, and he pretty much took our tower down. Wait, P.E.K.K.A.? P.E.K.K.A.? No way, the new range buff.
All of these things combined to make the P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam deck skyrocket in popularity. We could see Aragon playing P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam instead of Expo.
Right now, then I'm just gonna Bomber on the side. I'm gonna zap the Expo too. The Bomber's gotta hit the Expo one more time or I'm gonna take a decent lock. Okay, I only took one Expo shot.
We could see Ian77 finishing #1 in the world with P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam.
It's a somewhat hard matchup, but we're still doing really well. I don't know if he can stop this. Wait, Bomber might be on tower. Yeah, that's on the tower. Okay, I think we got him. Very nice win.
We could even see the best lava players like Invader playing P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam.
The Evo Battle Ram is like only in one deck, but it is really good in that one deck. Like, if you get this thing behind a P.E.K.K.A. or something, you're gonna have a good time. Be depleted of all her daggers, so we're gonna go with honestly just we'll let the Mother Witch do her thing here. I'm gonna go with the Battle Ram. We're gonna wait, and then Bandit. Yeah, and the Bandit should connect here. Well, unfortunately it doesn't. Connects on the wrong thing. Ooh, nice Evo Zap coming down here. We should get a lot of damage. And 14 piggies coming in on the King Tower as well. Good sight to see, and we should be maybe catching... Oh, that's not really what I wanted to Mother Witch, but we're going to be able to now go with... Oh, this isn't good. No, okay, he's not going to the Battle Ram. Mini P.E.K.K.A. is lost. He's actually lost. Okay, and we shove him out of the way.
However, one player stood head and shoulders above the rest when it came to mastering the P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam. Nemesis, widely regarded as the best P.E.K.K.A. player in the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna go pop this ability as well. I think it's a pretty good play. And yeah, so this is actually really good for me. Oh my gosh, I think he just messed up. That is not the play, because I could just Battle Ram. I can Evo Battle Ram behind this P.E.K.K.A. He has no stun anymore because he just used E-Wiz. So this should actually be pretty good. Yeah, like perfect, dude. I could just zap pretty much for game. And yeah, so I think that's like a very solid win, and like just a solid way to play against P.E.K.K.A. in general. So
As the P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam's popularity soared, it seemed like everyone was eager to join the bandwagon. The deck's incredible versatility and raw power made it an unstoppable force in the competitive Clash Royale landscape. In July 2024, the Bandit reached an 11% usage rate. Not even the Goblin Machine or Goblin Demolisher stopped her from dashing across the arenas. Yet with these new Goblin cards, the P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam evolved, and Nemesis immediately took advantage of the Goblin Demolisher and the Goblin Curse in his decks.
You always want to make sure that you P.E.K.K.A. low against the evil versions. And yeah, so this should be tower down. Perfect. Let me see here. So I'll just go for a ghost to set up some defense here, and that should be good to go.
However, the Bandit is still far from finished, as we could see her very often in the July monthly finals, where the top players fought for a golden ticket so they could participate in the 2024 Clash Royale World Finals. And let me tell you, I love watching Mohamed Light's gameplays, but what you're about to witness is something I've never seen before. And I've been playing since launch. You're gonna see two matches. First, a match between Morten and Mohamed Light. Morten is playing a P.E.K.K.A. Ram Rider deck with the Phoenix and Void Spell. On the other side, we have Mohamed Light with the Royal Giant deck.
Slower game than we've been accustomed to today. Both players taking their time to build a little bit. Royal Giant down for Mohamed.
Yeah, as soon as Morten popped that ability, you're spending so much, the Little Prince plus the ability for 6 elixir, and you're not really getting a ton of damage, so I feel like Morten should be a little bit worried about popping the ability so early like that.
Able to clean that up. You saw having to wait for the P.E.K.K.A. to allow the Fisherman to walk into range so it wouldn't get pulled away from the Royal Giant.
Molite not able to activate his ability in time. Does he want to go aggressive? He should have the Evo RG, I believe, 1 card away. But instead just gonna rage up his knight. An interesting play, but I like it. Forces out the Little Prince from SK Morten.
And Morten opting not to protect the Little Prince here, learning his lesson from the guard play last time. Sets up P.E.K.K.A. way in the back and decides to void. Protection will keep the queen alive a little longer. Oh, and a nice ability to negate that bandit.
Yeah, finally gets it down in time. If he can protect his fisherman, which I believe he's going to do everything he possibly can. No, it's going to take out the fisherman right there. We're going to have to see what happens with this defense. Needs to be able to protect the Archer Queen.
That's a good connection. Guardian will come in. Morten should have a P.E.K.K.A. ready for this, and he does. Fisherman, though, out, and that P.E.K.K.A. is not going to do enough. A great zap, and wow, what a defense from Morten.
Yeah, it looked like Morten was just trying, it felt like he waited just a tad bit because he knew that the zap was going to be able to properly take it out. And this is a really good counter push. That's going to be tower all the way down to 1370, and it's not stopping just yet. This is a great opportunity for him, and we might be seeing game over.
Wow. Wow, what a sequence from Morten to even things up.
Amazing plays from both sides, but Morten's push with the P.E.K.K.A., Ram Rider, and Bandit was simply unstoppable. But that is just the beginning. The following match is gonna go into the annals of Clash Royale history, for sure. This time, Mohamed Light's gonna use the Bandit in a Mortar deck, and on the other side is Morten, but this time with the Goblin Barrel Evo Recruits deck. So I hope you're ready for this. Enjoy.
The first set of Evo Recruits gets distributed.
I mean, if we see a potential, another reverse sweep come in from Morten, it's clear that he wants it. So excited to see that.
And almost all of that running away from the giant skeleton bomb. Now we see the first double barrel. And that's a lot of damage very early. That right-hand tower absolutely demolished, and Morten completely in control with 40 seconds left.
We are going to see it. Molite, I mean, there's nothing he can possibly do. Only the Little Prince for the flying machine. All Morten has to do is cycle recruits in the middle, put the flying machine on the map. It doesn't matter where you place it, it's going to get insane value, and that's exactly what we're seeing from him. This is going to be game over already, although he has a chance.
Morton in a lot of trouble here, does have to be careful. Bandit's going to dash, get on tower. And Morton is very, very low on elixir. He might lose this tower on the left-hand lane. A zap, the Guardian, and Mohamed Light extends this. Morton raising his eyebrows, cannot believe it, and he just got caught thirsty.
Oh my
He's got nothing.
The giant skeleton in the pocket to try and get it to the tower. I mean, it's not going to go to the crown tower, but it should still go to the king tower. No, a brilliant placement right there. And that, I mean, Morton, if he didn't place such a good demolisher, that could have been trouble for him. Instead, still has the lead, and we're still going to have to see what's going to happen with 1 minute and 38 seconds left.
I mean, that is really challenging. Morton had to think he had it sewn up there, but you saw it just got caught so thirsty out there on an island with nothing for it. And that's a nice use of the flying machine to just get the defensive mortar out of the way. Mohamed Light now setting up on the left-hand side. These giant skeletons could be really challenging for Morton on the long run, because there's plenty of ways, as we see, to remove them from contention. And that giant skeleton is going to tower, and he can't do anything about it.
Oh my goodness, that giant... Okay, but the fisherman is going to be able to yank it back. He doesn't predict the fisherman. Had he predicted the fisherman, that could have been game over. Instead, Morton giving himself one more opportunity to win.
But he has to protect against miners and against giant skeletons. Evil recruits come out. That miner is just going to town. The tower is distracted. Demolisher has to come out. King Tower down to absolutely nothing. 373. Morton now try to see if he can put the pressure on with this big push, but the giant skeleton has just completely turned this game around.
Recruits at the bridge. Morton knows what he has to do. Just place everything at the bridge. Hope something works. Trying to go for the king tower, the crown tower, everything. Just trying to spam. But that little prince, it did get nerfed, but it is still a beautiful player.
Flying machine gets on the tower for a little bit, but that's not enough. Morton tries to go Demolisher in the pocket. Goblin Barrel not going to be able to make this thing happen. And Mohamed Light stole this one back from Morton and has gifted Lucas a golden ticket trip to World Finals.
Wow. It shouldn't have been able to happen. That shouldn't have been able to happen. Morton feeling sick to his stomach. Mohamed Light elated.
You know, after watching so much Clash Royale content, matches, pro play, everything, there's not much that leaves me lost for words. But this match right here, it really does prove why Mohamed Light is and probably will be the next world champion once again. One fascinating thing is how much the Bandit is connected to Morton. In the 2019 World Finals, she was the reason why he lost the match against Surgical Goblin, as Surgical Goblin made that epic Skelly prediction. And now, in 2024, we can see Mohamed Light building intense pressure on Morton with the Bandit, and eventually getting the tower down, with the absolutely perfect zap to reset the Fisherman. Well played for both players. I do feel sorry for Morton, though. As we've seen, the Bandit has proven time and time again she is a force to be reckoned with, constantly reigning supreme at the top of the meta. However, I firmly believe that we have yet to witness her true potential. There's one final piece of the puzzle that could catapult her to even greater heights, and that, my friends, is, you guessed it, an evolution. If the Bandit received an evolution, it's gonna be a game changer. I really like the ideas from this YouTuber called Me Graphics. The first idea is giving her a super splash dash, which would be interesting but feels kind of boring. Like a mix of the Dark Prince and Bandit, nothing super unique. Second idea is a bit better though, and that's giving her a stun ability, basically giving her the ability she was supposed to have. I think giving her an HP boost of 20 to 30% plus the stun ability would make her absolutely broken. So will Supercell give her that evolution? Hey, only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the Bandit's legacy in Clash Royale is forever etched into the annals of gaming history. As one last little reminder, don't forget to use my raid link in the description or scan my QR code to get some insane bonuses for new players with 2 epic champions. And if you found this deep dive into the Bandit's history as captivating as I did, subscribe and watch this video next, where I take you on a wild ride through the day Larry broke Clash Royale. Trust me, it's a story you'll never forget. I'll see you there.